The other day, I called the Blair Witch Project 90 minutes of white people screaming in the woods. Well, the remake slash sequel slash soft reboot Blair Witch is essentially a black couple, two white people, and some hillbillies screaming in the woods for 90 minutes. I'm your host, Jeff Hicks, and this is World Class Bullshitters. And with me is the last standing Samoan, Nick Udom.
I had to kill them all to get here, but god damn it, it was worth it.
As long as we still got The Rock, he's like half Samoan, that's cool, man. You can take them all out.
Oh, God, there can only be one. I have to go get him. Give me
Ah!
a minute.
The quickening! So we just saw Blair Witch, the 2016 horror film, and all joking aside, I thought it was pretty decent. What'd you think?
I really liked it. Like, I kind of went in, not expecting much because I can't do that with modern horror movies anymore. I can't expect, the world because that's not going to happen anymore. Yeah, they're usually all giant letdowns, but this one was really good, and I thought it was, the beginning of it was just like, I don't know, I couldn't suspend disbelief enough for the beginning of it.
That was my only criticism, like hard criticism of this film. Like the beginning was completely useless. Like I didn't need to see them go to the bar, and I didn't need to see them.
No. I mean, the equipment thing was fine. The thing I hated was like the ear cameras. Like I don't think that's a thing. If anybody's listening and can put a link in the description below of like cameras you put on your ears that look like Bluetooth headsets, please do, because I don't believe in that. And the video they were getting with that was like amazingly like clear, and the sound was really clear. So I have issue with that.
That is one of the problems I had. I remember it was like, oh, it's so convenient. Every time they need to cut to a new angle, the other person's looking, and it's a high def camera, and it's that little Bluetooth earpiece has got better quality than that DV camera, the one that's on tape, which that's amazing.
And also the controller, the iPad, I guess the iPad controller for the drone is bullshit. Because I've seen a controller for the drone. I watched Casey Neistat on YouTube. His is this big white thing that you mount the iPad onto to look through it. It's like that's your viewfinder, is the iPad. And it's a giant controller. For this thing to just be like some fucking virtual thumbsticks on a screen is crap. I don't believe that.
Well, I guess you and I are being a little too hard on this movie because you're a filmmaker, and I'm just an asshole who, analyzes every fucking thing I see.
Also, in that filmmaker aspect, one thing I loved is that like the second half of the movie was entirely night in the woods, and I noticed something while watching it. It occurred to me when this happened. It's night in the woods because they're on a soundstage.
Ooh.
Because if you notice, whenever they point the flashlight anywhere, you can only see about 5 or 6 feet into the woods with the flashlight. So you can make that whole area that they're walking in, which is conveniently a path, around 30 feet wide for them to walk into, and on both sides you have enough foliage and shit for them to walk through, and you have their headlamps, which are really low anyways, and you do it that way, and it's really easy and very controlled.
I saw that there was a few light sources that drew me out. I'm like, where's that light source coming from?
Yeah, exactly. Like that's the thing, and I didn't like the very polished found footage feel in the beginning. That threw me off immediately. I was just like, this looks so good. It looks like Project Almanac. I can't take this as found footage.
I liked Project Almanac.
Oh, I love it to death. Really, I do. The story is like what draws me in. I could give two fucks about the found footage, but that's what it looked like to me, and I was like, you can't call this found footage and it'd be that clean.
I was hoping that kid, the main guy with the glasses, I was hoping they would have cast him as Spider-Man. I thought he would have been the perfect, good all-American Spider-Man.
Yeah, he's got that look. He's definitely got that look. I didn't like how the black couple were like the black couple.
Yeah, I hated the guy. Wasn't he Peter or something?
Yeah, like they were the black. I don't mean. I'm not reiterating the words to say like no, but like they're the atypical black couple in a horror movie. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like that's exactly how they've been for like the last 30 or 40 years, and it's just boring to see that. Like it's really boring to see that, and the fact that they're both like the couple is black. If it was like black guy and like a white girl, I would have been a little bit more like, oh, okay, that's cool, whatever, But they had to be a black couple. That'd be a black couple.
Yeah, and the first thing I thought to myself, me being mixed race, is black people don't go out into the woods like this. This is this is against your coding, Like, no, you don't go out into the woods. This isn't for you.
Exactly, and I love how they had the GPS thing, and they still got lost.
Yeah, it stopped working. There were a couple. Okay, so as soon as we saw that footage in the beginning, I'm like, okay, whatever. And then the guy goes, oh yeah, my sister went missing in 1994. I was like, oh, the girl from the first movie, okay. And now I'm on board. As soon as they said that, I was like, okay, I'm in. So I gave this movie the benefit of the doubt as soon as I heard that line, which is like, what, 2 or 3 minutes in?
Mm-hmm.
So, and then we had all the introductions to the characters, and there's just one problem. They weren't good. They didn't build up enough of the main guy, Heather's brother, and that other girl. Like, they didn't try to build, like, oh, will they, won't they? They're like...
Oh, no. Speaking of will they, won't they, I love that extremely awkward point that she comes into his,
tent,
and it's not being scary, and it's funny for, like, a minute and a half.
Yeah, stay here. What? Oh, okay.
No. She's in my tent. No, she just got here 30 seconds ago. She hasn't been here all night. Like, he had to kind of, like, say that out loud. I was like, no.
If I was making this movie, I would have had him, like, at least try to hook up or imply it. Like, that's, like, okay, we've been laid. You know, like, as you're about to get laid, you relax and then you get into it. You could let the audience relax with the characters, thinking they're about to get it on, and then they hear that scary shit, and it takes you right out of that sense of security and comfort, and then really sucks you into the horror aspect.
Yeah, and I mean, they could expect. I know they're trying to do the whole bar thing as like, I think it was them like trying to show the bonding of the group, but that didn't show shit. It should just show them getting drunk. It should have showed them like getting ready for the next day, like they did in the first movie, where it's like, you know, they're in the hotel, they have packing equipment, testing out the cameras, making sure everything works, and they did that very little. They should have done more of that and showed the bonding of people and been like, this person does this job, this is what they're good at. This person, this is this person, this is their name, this is what they're good at, this is why they're here.
I honestly would have liked that more than them going out, because it just made the characters seem like lazy 20-somethings that...
Yeah, it made them seem like millennials, basically, is what it's made them seem like.
I was going to say that, but then again, you and I are both millennials, so it's like, shit.
Shh, quiet. They don't know that.
Oh, okay. I'll cut that part out. I liked how it started with them in the house and the people coming over and stuff. And, like, when the girl was doing the equipment check, I just thought it was a little hokey when they're like, oh, don't tell anyone we're going out here. We'll put it in your movie, too. It's like, what? Oh, come on, that's a little contrived.
Yeah, don't tell anybody you're going anywhere. I mean, that's dumb. Like, you're going to the middle of the woods, regardless if you have GPS and global positioning stuff and a chip in your ass that, you know, can find you from space. I'm going to tell somebody, it's like, yo, I'm leaving this time, and I should be back this time. If I'm not, call the cops.
Yeah.
It's the woods. It's the fucking woods.
It's 2016, too. People are used to being monitored and surveilled.
Yeah.
So why not just be like, hey, I'm going to, the place was called Sunnybrook. Whatever it was called. The name of the
or Burtonsville or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm going there. Okay, just watch out. Like, I could understand not telling his parents because of the whole sister going missing thing.
Yeah. That's fine.
You could have had, like, the black couple's parents know, or another friend from the bar, or something.
Oh, cool.
So, the movie starts out, they get drunk, then they have their equipment test, and then it shows them in a hotel room fucking around, being drunk again, which mirrors the first film. And then they're off to meet some conspiracy theorist people who are responsible for uploading footage. Which, this movie now... it's funny you brought up Project Almanac, because this movie went from... Okay, the Blair Witch Project went from odd supernatural to time travel. And we'll get to the time travel aspect in a minute.
Yeah, I don't know. I know what you're talking about exactly, because I saw it too, and I was like, no.
Yeah, no. When I saw that, I was like, what?
It reminded me of the shitty sequel they made. That's what it really reminded me of.
God, they basically pulled an episode 7 and put the original trilogy all into one film. So they put both Blair Witch films in one.
That's really what I got from watching that part, because I remember something like that happening in the shitty sequel, and I was like, no, don't do you could have just made it its own footage. You could have just done that, but you wanted to make it this dumb like wraparound bullshit. It's not an anthology or whatever. Just make it its own thing. Let it be footage that they shot.
Yeah, well, it's like I said earlier. It's 2016. They got to try to reinvent the wheel for the better or the worse.
Whatever.
So, they meet the hillbilly couple. I thought the girl with the purple hair was mildly cute. Her boyfriend was really scary looking.
I mean, as soon as I saw the rebel flag, and I was just like, really? You're playing that whole thing? Especially with the black couple being there, I was like, you're gonna play that whole thing. Good
And
for you.
And the guy had to be all confrontational and look at the flag and shit.
Yeah.
That was a little forced. This was like a very Tumblr-esque scene, you know. There was a lot of triggering. Oh, we need a safe space to talk. Like, it was fucking stupid. Finally, they get to the goddamn woods, and the first day goes on. The black girl, I would call her by her name, but she was hot. I can call her the hot one if you'd like, listeners. The hot one gets a cut on her foot.
Ashley,
that's her name. Okay,
yeah.
Well, Ashley, the cute one, she hurts her foot as they're crossing the stream. Now, that's the same stream from the first movie, correct?
I don't think so.
Oh, see, I thought they were retracing the steps of Heather and Josh and Mike.
I mean, that could be what. I mean, I'm sure that's what they're doing, but it seems like they're taking them to a brand new site entirely.
Oh, no, I assumed it was the same area, just 22 years later, so it would have looked differently.
No, the redneck couple, the was it Lane and Talia or Telia, whatever, took them to a place where they supposedly went all the time.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
So they go to the woods. They're there for a day. They have a weird, scary night. There are sounds just like the first one. And then they go. It's the next day. They wake up at 2 p.m. and they're all freaking out. Like, how did we sleep till 2 p.m.? So they decide to leave the woods instantly, which is the smartest thing I've ever seen in a horror film.
Yeah, I know.
Creepy happens. Let's get the fuck out of here. So they leave. Only problem is they find out that Lane has the shit in his bag to make those Blair Witch stick people. And he's like, well, I was just trying to scare you guys. So they send Lane and Talia off, and the four main protagonists go off and try to go home themselves. But they get lost and turn around in a circle, and they get back to the original campsite. And now the film starts to take off and get weird, but never scary.
There were, like, at this point, there were so many fucking jump scares. I was just like, oh, quit it. And the theater I was in, I don't know, I was in, like, RPX, whatever. I think they have, like, subwoofers underneath the seats, because every time that happened, I'd feel it. Every time there was a giant thud or a low bass noise, I'd feel it. It was just weird.
Speaking of, I sent you that picture of me being alone in my theater.
Yeah.
5 other people showed up. Did anyone show up in yours?
No.
Oh, lucky. I love, like, when I went to see Hardcore Henry, it was just Dan and I. I've always wanted to go to a movie by myself, have the whole theater to myself.
When we went to go see Animal House last month, nobody in there but me.
Oh, wow. Maybe I'll just have to make the money to buy my own theater and do it that way. Then I can watch Beverly Hills Cop alone every day.
With alcohol.
Oh, God.
And good food.
Yeah, I had my mom make ribs. But, Mom, I'm going to the theater. Make me ribs, and I'll watch some Star Wars. The guys are coming over. So, that first night happened. I told you about that. We're back to the part where it gets dark and creepy. And let's see. The girl is sick. What was her name? Ashley?
Ashley, yeah. The way they did that thing with her foot, when Peter goes over and checks it, it seems like somebody's coming out of it or like in it. I was like, what are you doing here? What does this mean?
See, those little things are what drew me out of the movie. I was like, oh wait, this doesn't fit Blair Witch. Like, Blair Witch is a movie about nothing. It's like the Seinfeld of found footage movies. This had so many tropes of modern day horror. It stank of fucking Blumhouse all over, Like, Jason Blum wiped his ass on this movie. And he had nothing to do with it, I bet. Nothing. This was a fucking Lionsgate film.
Mm-hmm. Well, Lionsgate, they're trying to come back because they had Saw, and I think they had Paranormal Activity as well.
I thought that was Paramount.
Actually, it might be Paramount. I could be entirely wrong.
I thought that was a pretty big, because Steven Spielberg was the reason that movie got picked up. Because it genuinely scared him. Anyway, this is where the shit starts to go down. So, Peter goes out into the woods after looking at Ashley's foot to go get some firewood, and he starts hearing these sounds. He starts getting chased, and then all of a sudden, a tree falls on him, and you never see him again.
I don't know. It kept sounding like there was a giant Bigfoot in the woods whenever there was something getting these people, because it just was really weird. It didn't sound like scurrying little feet. It was like those like thuds of footsteps. It was really odd.
Yeah, and I thought it sounded like the T-Rex from Jurassic Park.
Yeah, a little bit like that.
And did you notice how they used the sound effects as a score in this movie?
Yeah, they did.
I thought that took away the found footage aspect, but it was still kind of cool.
Yeah, it was unique in its aspect. I mean, I think they were testing something and trying to figure out how it worked, so they tried it.
They get
But
an A for creativity.
that's true, they do. Um, Paranormal Activity was actually Blumhouse Productions.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah, so they bought it.
Oh, okay. So, did you see any of those horror trailers that look like shit?
Oh God, all three of them, and they were all horrible.
I saw 40 minutes or 30 minutes of trailers straight. The only non-horror ones I saw were the Magnificent Seven and that James Franco Bryan Cranston movie.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I think there was like Annabelle 2, Ouija 2,
Yeah.
and then there was another one.
Oh, the Bye Bye Man.
But yeah, Bye Bye Man.
I feel like I had one more than that.
Yeah, I want to say there is, but like Ouija 2 looks like shit. It's like they're trying to do this retro throwback like Conjuring did, but I'm sorry, but they can't copy what is it, Lee Wan or whatever his name is.
James Wan?
James Wan, sorry, James Wan, you're right, James Wan. They can't copy him because I mean he did Conjuring 1, which was amazing, and Conjuring 2, which is even better. And you know, he gets a free pass for Conjuring 3. Do whatever the fuck you want, dude. I heard like a very small rumor very quickly that it was going to be werewolves. I was like, I'm down for that. I'm down for some weird shit.
Is he gonna make it? Because he's making Aquaman.
He may not then. Jeez.
Yeah, he's moved up, man. That's how you make it in Hollywood. You make a couple low-budget horror movies that make a bunch of money, and then you are golden to a studio. And if you can do a couple big action movies, then you're a fucking god. Look at Michael Bay.
That's true.
So where were we in the plot? I'm just recalling this from memory. So back at the camp, the two white people are trying to fly the drone to see the woods, right? And they crash.
Yeah.
They crash it up into the tree. Or no, that was earlier in the movie. Either way, that's not important. The fucking hillbilly couple comes back.
Yeah, they come back and they're just like, "How long has it been for you guys?"
We've been gone for 5 days. And I'm like, what? And like, that makes no sense. This guy's on bath salts or something. Somebody's face is gonna get eaten off. So then, the rest of the people at the camp get scared because do they go to sleep and find more of those Blair Witch things or what?
Yeah, they do. After that, they go to sleep and they wake up the next morning and they find that the entire camp is covered in these things from every side, from like small ones to like, you know, like 10-foot tall ones. Like they're huge. And everybody's freaking out, and eventually, I think like something happens to Talia, like she just like gets bent backwards.
Yeah, because what's her name? Ashley takes the stick and breaks it.
Yeah,
it was like a voodoo doll. And when I saw that, I was like, huh? Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was something that was just like a little like what? They shouldn't have done that. It was just, you know, a little too much, I think.
Yeah, some of the violent parts were kind of like so shaky. I will say this though, the only time I ever felt any kind of emotion, like of fear, was when the Blair Witch was first shown out in the fucking woods and you saw it for that brief second. I was like, oh god, that was kind of scary.
Oh god, no, like I hated. I get scared whenever like they were in the house in the wood. Like there's this house in the middle of the woods. It's raining outside. It's a shitty situation already, and you're just running through this old fucking house. I'm just like, nope, not even a little bit. I will sit outside the house and get eaten by the Blair Witch. I am not going to go inside that fucking house. Like that, it's just immediate no. Immediate no.
It was a little much. I wasn't scared at any point in the house. The only time that was creepy is when that thing showed, because that was a creepy looking character. It looked like the fucking stick person.
Yeah. It was like that's I guess the only time you'll ever see the witch. And I'm glad they never show it. I'm very happy they never show it, because to me that keeps the mystery alive of like what the fuck does it look like. Even that far off like shot of it you barely see for a few seconds is good enough. That's all you need.
I bet you when the Blu-rays release, they're going to have production images of what they designed for the film.
Of course they are. They're going to have this. They're going to have a deleted scene of it showing up and everything. Like they're going to have a lot of it. There were a couple of scenes where you could see like glowing eyes in the woods almost, it seemed like. And I don't know what that is, but like that always freaks me out when you see like a human figure with glowing eyes. I don't know why, but that is just like, nope, I can't do that. That's unnatural. That is entirely unnatural.
I don't like it. Now, real quick, I want to do a quick, before we talk about the end of this movie, and obviously spoilers, I want to bring up one thing. I just watched a video, Film Theory, where they talk about the original Blair Witch Project, and they say that it's not supernatural and that the Blair Witch is fake, and the whole film is a murder set up by Josh and Mike. to kill Heather, and it was really convincing. So, Nick, you should check it out. Listeners, you should. I don't want to send that guy any views because he makes a ton of money, but watch it with ad block.
I mean, that's fine, but then what happened to Josh and Mike then? Like, where did they go?
Here's the thing. The video doesn't do two things. It doesn't give a motive for why they're killing Heather. And it doesn't tell, like, oh, they just disappeared. That's all it says.
That's dumb because you need motive and then you need an escape plan, as I would assume as well, because if you're just stuck in the fucking woods, you're stuck in the fucking woods.
Yeah, I
mean, it's literally like if you and me get dropped in the middle of the woods and then you kill me, like, you're still in the fucking woods.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. You're just going to die slower.
Well, actually, if I was stuck in the woods with you, I think we'd be safe because Samoa's 98% wooded areas, and you'd be like, oh, my people. And you'd, like, look up to the sky and you go this way, and we're going It's like, oh, thanks, Nick. Prove me wrong, dude.
I don't want to get stuck in the woods. It's not going to happen.
See, now this is one reason why horror movies like this don't do it for me, and like Friday the 13th, but movies like Halloween do. Because here's the thing. In Friday the 13th, Blair Witch Project, these types of movies, you are taken out. You go to the woods. You go both times to the woods, to this element that you're not really supposed to be in, and you get picked off. The reason shit like Halloween gets to me is because, like, you're at home and some dude just shows up and kills you. Like, you're in your everyday routine.
Yeah, you're in your safe space and you get fucked up.
Yeah, so these, I'm like, my biggest problem is, like, why are they in the fucking woods? Like, just go home. Like,
even then, like, the thing I hated is that the main kid, what was his name? James, kept going on. It's like, oh, my sister's alive. My sister's alive. It's like, it's been 20 some odd years. 22 years. How is she still alive and how is she just in the woods there? Why is that a thing? Wouldn't she, like, eventually find her way to a road or something? She just kept walking if she was still alive? Like, that was a dumb, like, I know that he's distraught. I know that sucks, but it's a dumb thing to keep, like, in your mind.
Yep, you are preaching to the choir on that one. It's funny. The whole Donahue family must suck because I couldn't stand the brother or her.
Yeah, he was. I mean, he wasn't as bossy as she was, but it was still just like, oh, she's alive 22 years later in the woods. You see, she's there. It's like, no, it's been 22 fucking years, dude. Come on, let's be real. She
was a stone cold asshole. He was just. The thing is, he wasn't annoying, and he wasn't in the movie that as much as you would think for being. I thought he was the lead.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
The other girl, the dark-haired one,
Lisa.
Yeah, Lisa. She was a big part of the movie, but he was supposed to be the.
Well, see, and that's one thing I fucking hated is that she was the filmmaker and she's the one making the movie. It's just like, and then thinking about that at the end, I was like, oh, of course it's going to be her survives and documents everything because you have to have a movie, you have to have film, you have to have something to survive to make the movie with. And another thing I hated, also, in the beginning of the movie, they had the same fucking stamp. It's like, these people went into the woods, May 12th, 2014, and this is the footage we found. DV tape and SD cards. Like, okay, first of all, if you can find an SD card in the woods, good fucking job. You deserve a fucking medal because it's an SD card in the fucking woods.
I can lose it in my living room.
Yeah, exactly. You can lose it in a fucking couch.
Yeah. My couch is a monster.
Exactly. Like, how do you find? I mean, DV tapes maybe, they're not. I mean, they're about 4 times bigger, but SD cards in the woods.
Now,
come the fuck on.
Speaking of the woods, I gotta say my favorite scene probably in this whole movie, before we get to the whole twist thing with the time lapse, when Ashley is climbing up that tree to get the drone. I thought that was cool, because here's the thing I thought to myself, I said, if she reaches for the drone and gets her finger chopped off, I'm going to be grossed out, because I don't like seeing body parts get cut up. But when she fell, I thought that was cool. But the part that sold me was when it got dragged away. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, that was really creepy. Well, I thought it was dumb. I thought it was dumb, this girl who sees the drone up there, and her foot's hurting, and her leg's, like, cut open, and, pus is coming out of it. She's like, oh, my leg is fucked up, but I'm going to climb this tree 10 feet in the air. It's like, really? Really?
Yeah, I mean, her motivation was dumb, but I thought that scene was very well executed.
Yeah, it was. And I mean, you got footage from the drone, footage from her camera and everything. Like, it looked really good. It was, proper. Even the falling through the trees was, like, really fucked up and good.
That movie, I mean, Yeah, the found footage aspect was contrived compared to the original one, but that's kind of what made me appreciate this one more, because as a movie, something that I go to experience for entertainment, I was able to fully comprehend what I'm looking at. It wasn't like the original one of just people going, Josh! Josh! And then going, I heard something, let me run out! Oh my god! It goes black for minutes at a time! I'm actually moving my arms up and down like I'm running, by the way. It was just... That's
while you're sitting in front of your computer.
Yeah, that's why that movie pisses me off, dude, so much. There's dumb shit like that. At least this one, presentation-wise, made up for a lack of,
Yeah, and this is also the thing of, like, old footage in this day and age with the DV cam that the girl had in the end. Because that, like, whenever I see that in a movie nowadays, it happened in Sinister 1, it happened in this, that just fucks with me real bad. I don't know why. Like, it for some reason seems more real to me when you have, like, older footage in stuff that's nowadays. I guess because everything's so clean and polished and 4K or 6K or 8K, and it's, like, all done really well. Yeah, exactly. It's all done really well and everything. And then you have, like, this, standard definition, like, DV camera that only does, like, 720 by 480. And it's just like it seems more real. I don't know why. It just, to me, it works on me.
Now that camera was the perfect leeway to the most controversial part of this movie, the part that made me think, but not in a good way. The fucking time travel aspect. Yes, folks, you heard that correctly. There's a time travel aspect of this movie. So, Hillbilly, what's his name, Lionel?
No, Lane.
Lane, okay, sorry. Lane, I swear to God, I'm not bad with people's names in real life. But Lane, he says to them in the beginning, or the middle of the film, how long has it been for you guys? It's been 5 days for us. But he also says it's always dark. So I thought maybe he was just hallucinating. Then we see him inside of the creepy Blair Witch house, and he's got long hair and a beard. He's like, you gotta do whatever she says! And he throws Ash, or what's the girl's name? Mika?
No, it's Lisa.
Lisa, shit. Close. He throws her down a hole, and he's got, like, long hair and a beard, and he looks disheveled. Then he goes to attack her later on in the film, and he's got an even longer beard, and then it loops around that he got the footage back to himself, and they watched it on the internet, and that's what drew them into the woods? Right? Isn't that what happened?
Correct. No, that's correct. Because the YouTube footage you see in the beginning is the footage that actually happens during this time of the movie.
And it makes no sense.
And it's and also another thing to kind of hark on is I hate when they do this, and it happens a lot in the modern found footage movies, is that they go from a YouTube video and they zoom out into, like, the room of people and introduce everybody. I fucking hate that. You go to this, like, full screen YouTube video, and then you, like, the button gets clicked, and it's like, oh, it's a YouTube screen. Pull out, people are in this room and shit's going on. It's like, no, don't do that.
That was the only aspect of this movie that I was kind of like, like, that makes no sense. That's kind of dumb.
Yeah, and I mean, it literally does remind me of Blair Witch 2, the
Book of Shadows.
Book of Shadows. Like, that's what it reminds me of.
Starring Jeffrey Donovan of Burn Notice fame.
And that's what it really reminded me of, and I was like, oh, come the fuck on. Like, you did not need to do that. Did not need to happen. No need for it.
No. And that's kind of how the movie ends. I stayed after the credits because I always do.
Yeah, same here, and I was like, there's nothing in here at all.
To pay respect for the people that worked on the film.
Always.
And, it was that. So, Nick, let's give a final rating for just Blair Witch, not the Blair Witch Project or Blair Witch Project, just Blair Witch. On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give this film?
I'd give it an 8. I'd give it a solid 8 because I used to live also what, like, I live in Georgia, and I go home to Tennessee every now and again, and you have to travel through the woods, and for an hour and a half there's no cell phone signal, and the only thing that comes by are, like, park rangers every 2 hours or so. So if you break down or you crash, you're fucked for a while. And, like, in the woods is a very real thing for me. Even when I used to live there, as a kid, every now and again you hear on the news, like, oh, hikers went into the woods and have not been found yet. The search party's been going at it for a week, and there's no bodies, no remnants, no nothing. So it's just very real for me to kind of be scared of the situation, and this terrify me a little bit,
Yeah. I remember coming down to visit you, or yeah, when we came down to the
Yeah,
chalet.
no. Remember the drive to the chalet?
Yeah, up that mountain.
It was the weirdest drive, and I think I did it once and I got it forever. But just doing like even that is just like that's a lot of driving to get to a chalet.
And we were up there in the middle of the fucking day, like when we drove up.
Yeah.
It was funny. Our trip to that chalet was just like a scene out of this movie.
No, it was. It really was. And I mean, yeah, even that trip was creepy. Even at night, it was still creepy because if you don't know where you are and you don't know where you're going, you will go off the road and down the mountain.
When we went to Gatlinburg, Jason and I, the one that went with us to Gatlinburg this time, when I was a kid, his dad was driving, and there was a mudslide on the mountain, and we almost died.
Yeah, I mean, I've driven on some roads that where it kind of snowed and the snow got packed down to ice, and if you didn't brake hard enough, like you went the fuck over. Like it's like all of this to me anyways is very real, and that's why like movies like this, when it got to the found footage stuff and it got a little bit more, it got better. The found footage stuff got better once shit started going down. I was kind of scared. I was like, oh fuck, they're in the woods. They kept turning the camera back, like they kept doing like 180s and turning back and forth, and I was like, something's just gonna randomly appear, and it's gonna be terrifying. And like getting lost and dying in the woods is a very real thing for me.
Okay, so you gave it an 8. If I gave the original one like a 4 out of 10, I would give this one 7. I liked this movie. For as critical as I said it in the opening, I was intrigued. I was a little tired in the middle. That's because I barely got any sleep last night because we recorded World Class Bullshitters. But I would watch this movie again. This would be one of the few found footage films that I purchase on a Black Friday special and watch every once in a while because it has a decent enough story. It's not an amazing film. It's not. I'm trying to think of a pair. It's not like The Den, which is a fucking scary ass found footage movie. There are better found footage movies out there. But
of course there are.
For a major release, rated R horror film in 2016, I don't think you're going to get much better than Blair Witch.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely say, it's worth your hard-earned money to go watch this. It really is.
Take a group of people. Take a girl. Take your guy. If a guy gets scared at this movie, I'd question if you'd ever sleep with him. But still go. You're going to get some decent character archetypes. Some of them are a little blank slate, so you can project onto them. And overall, you're going to have a good time.
Yeah.
So this has been our review of Blair Witch. It's out in theaters right now. You can check it out. World Class Bullshitters approved. This is going to get a seal. It's 100% quality dick.
Mm-hmm.
I've been your host, Jeff Hicks.
I've been your friendly neighborhood Samoan.
And we are out. Keep on bullshitting.